Oh, we got another article about the war. Well, near the war. Poland rolls out plans for fortification along its borders with Russia and Belarus. Yes, I already talked about this some time ago. Poland is investing a lot, and by a lot, I mean a lot of money to up its army capacity. I think they are overdoing it a lot. They're gonna in-depth themselves, which could, which will likely harm their future generations, their child's, grandchildren, and yeah, the war might not even come. I mean, like, I don't think they need to spend so rapidly, so fast. They could make some balanced expansions to the defense budget. As I said before, Russia would simply not be able to win the attrition warfare with the EU, with the NATO, not even probably with the help of China. Maybe yes, maybe not. Not well. The China would be focused on the Pacific part of the front, anyways, and would probably eventually have to find India, and which seems very unlikely that the Chinese would have wanted an open conflict with India, because India would have drained massive resources from the Chinese army, and they would not be able to focus on the US. So as long as India is still anti-war, picking sides, then we are good. Once they sign a friendly pact with the Russians or with the Chinese, then you fucked up. Defense officials in NATO member Poland on Monday presented a plan to strengthen anti-drone surveillance and on-ground military defense throughout the system of fortifications and barriers along about 700 kilometers of its eastern border with Russia and Russian ally Belarus. The government says Poland, which supports neighboring Ukraine in its defense against Russian aggression, is being targeted by hostile actions from Russia and Belarus. They include cyber attacks, attempted arson, and migrants being pushed illegal across the borders. Yes, I remember the Lukashenko's regime used to send migrants, used to import migrants from Turkey and then send them to Poland. However, Poland did build a fence. So I heard that a lot of these migrants just ended up in Minsk. Yeah, and were just, hanging out there, doing pretty much nothing. So I think Lukashenko must have been very glad about these new visitors. They include cyber attacks, attempted arson, and migrants. Yes, we already read that, which officials describe as intended to destabilize the European Union, of which Poland is a member. The government is also making preparations in the case of a military attack, while stressing the primary role of deterrence. Yeah, the fortifications are also very useful. However, I would like to see how will they go about it. I mean, making a solid static fortifications simply probably won't do it in today's age. Russia still has made have a massive storage of its FAB 500 bombs, or even bigger bombs. I think it was FAB 1000 maybe. And I mean, if you drop it onto the bunker, and then the bunker won't be there anymore. It will get destroyed, because this 500 is a force, and you could see like the things it did to the communist blocks or the communist flats, and those things were durable as hell. Like, if you remember Yugoslavia, I mean, those communist flats were very durable. Like, you definitely needed a force to bring them down. Yeah, they were built to last a long time, and they were built to be very reliable. So they can also be used as a very good defensive structures. So the Russians just use those FAB 500, FAB 1000 bombs to bring them down quite easily. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how Poland will go about building these defenses, because I don't think Maginot Line would hold up, especially when the Russians can make FAB 500 as gliding bombs very cheaply. So you have to count all these variables in. The government of Prime Minister Donald Tusk has planned a range of security measures, including in cyberspace, as well as more than 2.5 billion in investment in strengthening surveillance and deterrence and defense along the eastern border. A system known as Shield East, very creative. That is to be completed in 2028. Work on it has started, the official said. The goal of the shield is to protect the territory of Poland, hamper the mobility of our adversaries' troops, while making such mobility easier for our own troops, and to protect civilians. Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz said at a news conference, adding that local communities understand the need for such steps. The shield will include all kinds of fortifications, barriers, monitoring of the airspace on every level, and upgrading the existing systems, and will be integrated with the defense systems across the country, Kosiniak-Kamysz said. He says it was the biggest program to strengthen NATO's eastern flank since 1945, when the World War II ended. How would I name this line? Spierdalaj. That's very vanilla. Oh, kurwa. I don't know how do you say down and down. Anyways, let's move on. I'm gonna let creativity to someone else. Chief of the Staff of Generals Wiesław Kukula said it will include a network of state-of-the-art anti-drone monitoring and defense towers, anti-tank barriers and ditches, bunkers and shelters, as well as space for potential minefields. He says their primary role is to deter any potential aggressor. Oh, I don't want to be the guy that's going to do the demining. The official said the system will be part of regional defense infrastructure built jointly with the Baltic states, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. They are also on the NATO's eastern flank. I mean, Finland is also on the eastern flank, by the way. The funding will come from the government, as Poland spends over 4% of its GDP on defense. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna talk about this. I think 4% is way too much. I think 2.5% is... I think 2% is the best. Maybe 2.5% to 2.75% if you need modernization of your army. Overspending any more than that could be dangerous, as you will likely indebt yourself unless you are the US. And even the US are now... So yeah, I mean, I think spending 4% is just irresponsible for your children and grandchildren's. If you're gonna indebt yourself, because Poland is not the United States, they just cannot afford this. And even the United States are, at this point, are very much in debt. I mean, if your fourth biggest expenditure is, at the debt rates or the debt interest, then that's something's very wrong. But help will also be sought from the EU, because the system will also strengthen the eastern borders of the 27-member bloc, they said. Yeah, they'll probably get some money from EU as well. Hopefully more than less. Some observers noted that much publicized presentation came 2 weeks ahead of elections to the European Parliament, where Poland, a nation of some 38 million, holds 52 seats and could be partly seen as a campaign element for the government that took office in December. The opposition also supports strengthening Poland's defense, obviously. Poland's previous right-wing government built a 400 million wall on the border with Belarus to halt massive inflow of migrants. It began to be pushed from the direction in 2021. The current pro-EU government said that wall needs to be strengthened, but will be a separate project from Shield East. The 3 Baltic states were once part of the Soviet Union, while Poland was a satellite state before 1990s. Moscow still regards the area within its sphere of interest. To its east, Poland borders Russia's exclave of Kaliningrad, as well as NATO's ally Lithuania, Moscow ally Belarus, and Ukraine. This is it? Yeah. Again, as I said before, I'm definitely interested in how the fortifications will look. I would advise against many of, concrete buildings or stuff like this, because it won't probably last against FAB 500s. you need to make some sort of elastic defense. So, so the heavy bombs just don't completely obliterate your defenses in one go. And you can, adjust as the, bombardment goes off and on. Obviously, the Russians won't be the only ones doing the bombing. The NATO would also, bomb Russian positions. So, however, in the first days of war, these fortifications must hold. The line must hold, and therefore the defense should be quite elastic.